Star Trek Prodigy episode 16 just dropped on Paramount Plus, so let's talk about it. Spoilers for this review. Um, this episode was great. I think the only problem I have with this episode, it feels like an episode that should have come earlier in the season. Basically, while they're trying to repair their ship, all of our characters start sitting around and start telling each other's backstories. Because, Dell is just he's upset about still being an experiment and not a real person, even though he is a real person. But you get what I mean. He's not a real person born naturally, I guess. Since we already know Gwen's backstory, Jacob Pog tells his backstory about how he had to evacuate his ship because there wasn't enough oxygen to get him to the same destination the rest of his crew was headed, so he evacuated while they were all asleep in pods. So that's an interesting story. And then you get the. I think what's annoying about that story, I'm really sick of the Jacob Pong character because he's a good character, but why is he repeating his catchphrase every 5 minutes? I can fix it. Well, just stop. That was a little annoying, but. Then we get what's the rock girl's name? I forget her name, but she she was a fighter and got sick of always looking like the monster. So in the end, she decided to do something about it, and for that they sent her into prison. And so that's just kind of the scenario. Zero has a little backstory too and all that, but I think to me, I don't know why this didn't come earlier in the season, but I get why it didn't at the same time. I would prefer it came early in the season, but I like this episode. And then you get the subplot of this episode where the diviner is kind of talking with that other lady we saw at the end of the last episode, and they're going over why this ship got sent back in time and all this stuff. And we see Janeway kind of figuring stuff out. By the end of the episode, she kind of has a hint of what's going on. She figures out that these are all just kids. These kids are on the ship, and they're not really bad guys. So she's trying to figure out who sent the bounty, but now she has an idea of who sent the bounty. I think what's annoying about that plot too is that I could have sworn that she already had an idea that these were children. So I think it's interesting that these are our children. Because now she's figured that out. Now she's like, what am I supposed to do? So I don't know. We have 3 more episodes until the finale of this show. So I'm curious what's going to go down from there. But it's a really fantastic show. I think this is easily the best Star Trek show. It's the easiest to watch and easier for new people to get into it. And it's got a very investing story. Every episode I get really excited for by the next week. So I'm excited to see what goes down next week. Thank you guys for watching.